here's my review of The Sheep Detectives. I thought that this was a really fun movie, and I think that this is a movie that probably anyone can enjoy. It's definitely the best family movie of the year so far, although I don't, this might actually be the only one I've seen. And it's basically a really fun, family friendly murder mystery with talking animal sheep. And it's great. It's a lot of fun. Basically, we follow this shepherd named George, played by Hugh Jackman, who has this flock of sheep. In the first like 10, 15, 20-ish minutes, we're kind of just getting to know George and his relationship with the sheep, what he does with them every day, and every night he reads them a murder mystery novel, which is just really fun. How in his mind he's like, even though he doesn't think they can understand him, he just likes reading to them, and then he gets killed. And because of that, the sheep have to solve the murder. And henceforth, they are the sheep detectives. And it's a really fun movie. I think that in many ways, it's just like a really solid family movie. I mean, it's got a bunch of beautiful landscapes with this taking place, I believe, in the UK. And it's just a fun movie. And these sheep in general are just really fun to be around. You got a lot of great voices in there. Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart. I mean, there's a lot of great voice actors. Bryan Cranston. And we see them, it's really fun now they use their knowledge from the stories that they're read to every day to figure out what's going on. Like when they break into his caravan, they find out, okay, there were two drinks. So someone was here last night. That's who, so it couldn't have been, he couldn't have accidentally just had a heart attack or something. It was for sure a murder. And just seeing them use their limited knowledge also of the outside world, that could basically just end up providing some really fun jokes. But the real kicker here is like when we found out the motive is that George had a will. In his will, he actually had $30 million, which immediately, like, okay, so we have a motive. Because at the beginning, you're like, why would someone kill just a random shepherd? What do they have to gain? And it's really fun, just like discovering, playing around with all these characters and basically one, because early on you kind of like all these characters in this room, you're like, okay, I see why. We find out he has an estranged daughter. Okay, so he can get the money. Of course. The priest who didn't like him. Okay. The butcher who wanted to basically kill his sheep, and the other farmer who wanted to take over his farm. They all have a really interesting motive that just allows it to just be, you're like, okay, I want to figure out who it was. And of course, obviously, you're going to kind of think like, okay, something's up with this daughter. It's got to be her. It's got to be her. But they do a lot of good, like, red herrings of saying, oh, maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's actually this person. In the middle of this, we're also following the reporter who's reporting on this murder, who basically needs the story, as well as this bumbling cop who's a really fun character. He's just basically just Chief Wiggum from The Simpsons. He's a complete idiot, but he's a really fun character. And seeing him try to solve the mystery, I think, is really fun because you can see he genuinely does want to solve it. He does care, but at the same time, he's just a dunce, which just makes it a lot of fun. And of course, just the sheep themselves are all really fun. Of course, we have our main sheep. Of course, we have our main sheep, Lily, who you can clearly see how much she cares about George and wants to solve this murder. And it genuinely is a pretty sad movie at times because you could tell how much these sheep cared about George, how much they cared about their shepherd. I mean, he basically was a part of their flock, as they say. And it's just really cute. It's just a very cute, fun family movie. And I think that another thing this movie does well is it's got a really good atmosphere. And I say that a lot of my reviews, but I mean, I say it because it's noticeable. This movie, like, I believe it's set in like the countryside of the UK. It just has a very small town kind of feel where the characters are fun, the beautiful landscapes, of course. And it just allows this movie to feel very grand with its murder mystery, but also very intimate and small, allowing it for to be not a little too complicated or not feel like it just feels very, it's got a cozy feel is the best way I can describe it. Because you got the very fun sheep characters, and of course you got this small town, and it's just fun. This movie kind of reminds me a little bit of Peter Rabbit with some of the ways the characters talk, but that's not at all a bad thing. I quite enjoyed that movie. It's kind of got the same vibes of that. But I think also just a really good like thing and theme throughout this movie is really like there's kind of a message, or at least I kind of took away a message, maybe if it wasn't intentionally there, of family. Considering, I mean, Lily sees George, like I said, that's her shepherd. He is a part of their family, and there's a plot line about basically the winter lamb, who's, if you're a lamb born during winter, you're not really accepted into the flock, which is this one right here. And then there's like a mysterious older ram. And even just learning more about these sheep, you get invested in these animated CGI animals, but it just works really, really well. And I will say, and maybe this is just because I'm dumb, and I'm going to get into some spoilers now. I'm going to talk about a few bit of spoilers here. So in conclusion, I had a really fun time with this movie. I liked it. I think that families will like this. I think kids will like it. It's a really solid movie. Now, time to get into spoilers. Okay, so we find out that kind of towards the back half at the end, that, spoiler, the killer is the reporter. And we also find out that that reporter is also secretly his son. And he, the night before, he went, who basically, because they in this movie find out that he's estranged from his kids. And after his wife died, he kind of just wanted to not be alone. And because of that, and once he found out that all of his inheritance was going to go to his sister, then he killed his father. So it's kind of really basically pretty dark motivation, I mean, of the son killing his own father. But I kind of like that it went there for a kid's movie. It allowed it to be just really like, oh, wow. And I will say, you could kind of, even just looking at this poster, you could kind of have a feeling that it's going to be him. Because, I mean, just look at how sinister he looks. Like, what? But, yeah, I thought that the twist was pretty well. I thought every great murder mystery has a really fun reveal. And I thought this one did as well. And, yeah, I am kind of just droning on about this. So I'm going to just, like, clear it up by saying I had a fun time with this movie. I think that it's a really fun murder mystery movie. I didn't absolutely love it, but I had a fun time with it. I liked it.